So what is a margin account? That's exactly what I'm going to talk about in today's video. Maybe you are going through your process of signing up for an online broker and you've gotten to that section where you see cash account or margin account and you're thinking, I really don't know what either of those are, but especially a margin account. I don't even know what the word margin means. Well, let's first accomplish and talk about a cash account. A cash account very simply means the cash that you put into the account, the money that you put in, it is what it is, it's what you have. Meaning if you put in $1,000 of cash into an account, then you have $1,000 to use for trading. If you put in $5,000 of cash, then you have $5,000 to trade with. So let's say you put in $7,500 of cash into the account. How much money do you have to trade with? Hopefully you're saying, well, you have $7,500. If that's what your answer was, perfect. You get exactly what a cash account is. But what about the margin account? So what exactly is going on with this whole margin thing? Well, the easiest way to look at a margin account, we're going to kind of go forwards and then backwards here. But a margin, don't really look at it as margin as a word. Look at it as a loan. I would assume that most people know what a loan is. Now, if you don't know what a loan is, maybe go do some research on that. But at this point, I'm assuming you know what a loan is. And the question becomes, all right, so margin, it's a margin account and it's a loan. So maybe think, well, who exactly is making this loan? What is going on? Because a loan has a borrower and then a lender, right? So who is the lender? The lender in this case is going to be your broker. Now, most people associate loan and the automatic thing they go to is banks. Banks make loans. And while a broker isn't necessarily a bank, I mean, they're a bank in some ways, and this is one of those, some ways where they are a bank. They are making loans. In order to get this loan, though, from your broker, you would need to choose, and that's what a margin account is. It is allowing you to get a loan from your broker. Now, what's the benefit? Why would I take a loan? Well, this is where another very common word, so I should probably underline this, because margin is one of those kind of trader lingo words that you may see flying around out there. Another one is leverage. And the word leverage is what is helping us, or I guess is the point of all this. Why the heck would I want to take a loan from my broker? Why not just go cash account? Because some people want leverage. Now, what is leverage? Leverage is basically the creation of money out of nowhere. And it's not out of nowhere because, it's coming from the loan that your broker is giving you. And in many situations, now I should note, I am just talking general rules of thumb, the overarching principle here, because it can be a case-by-case basis, even with stocks or options or Forex or futures. All these things can kind of vary, but I just want to get across, what are these terms? What's the concept that they're conveying? So this is not a universal rule. These are just numbers that I'm using. So this is by no means this is how it is in every single instance. But leverage is just the expanding of funds. It's kind of like you have some funds there, you take some gasoline, you pour it on it, and then you light it, and all of a sudden you have more. That's probably a bad example because you don't want to burn your money, right? But the point is it kind of just goes poof, and all of a sudden you have more money. Here we go. Here's a better example. Your money is like a seed. So you put in some cash, but if a margin account, then you pour some fertilizer on it, you pour some water, and then all of a sudden you have more money. That's essentially what's going on with leverage. It's the expanding of money. And in most cases, this is denoted as a ratio. So 2 to 1. What does that mean? 2 to 1 just basically means for every dollar that you have in your account, your broker is willing to loan you, because you have a margin account, $2. So let's just assign some real practical numbers to this. Let's say you have $5,000 and you put it into a margin account. Because you're in the margin account, you are eligible for a loan. Who's going to make you that loan? Your broker is. What is the broker's leverage that they're willing to give you? Well, it's 2 to 1, which means that for the $5,000 that you put in, you would then have $10,000 to trade with. And another kind of trader lingo terminology, maybe you've seen this. This would be your buying power. So let me get that underlined too. So when you want to go impress your friends, maybe impress the ladies by using all this fancy lingo, buying power. That's what that is referring to. The amount of money that you could use in your trading account. Again, remember, you only put in $5,000, but because it's a margin account, you're eligible for a loan, and the person making you the loan is your broker. They're willing to allow you to leverage 2 to 1, which means $5,000 becomes $1. Now, in the world of Forex, this could be 20 to 1. This could be 50 to 1. It can get really, really crazy in the world of Forex. And with stocks, it's always going to vary. But that's what's going on. That's how the math works. And if you're not sure and you're talking with your broker on the phone, you can say, hey, what are your margin rates? What are your, what leverage are you offering within your margin account? That would be the right way to, not margin rates, we'll get to that in a second. The right way to ask, how can you leverage, what are your leverage, rules? What leverage are you offering within your margin account? That would be the question that you would want to ask or look for on the sites, in the frequently asked questions. I mean, all this stuff is going to be covered within a broker's frequently asked questions under the margin section. It's going to tell you what sort of leverage they're going to allow you to use. And then on top of that, we got to circle back to the loan, because again, I'm assuming you know what a loan is, but a loan in the traditional sense, you ever heard of mortgage rates? Well, that is just the interest that you're paying for that loan. And the same things here. Now, they're not called mortgage rates. They're just simply called, margin rates or interest rates. But at the end of the day, this is interest because you are borrowing money and it is expressed in a percentage. Again, it's going to vary from broker to broker. A lot of brokers like to compete. Hey, we got better margin rates compared to that broker. Check out our margin rates. We're a lot less than, broker X, Y, or Z. So they're always going to be changing and they're not going to be the same among all the brokers. So that's something else that you're going to consider with. So yeah, you can buy more stock, but you are going to be paying a little extra to use that money. Now, if the stock is just boom, 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 keeps going up, who cares about that? You are making more than enough to pay that interest rate, and it's all puppy dogs and rainbows and sweet little grandmas crossing the street. No problem at all. And if the stock's going down, well, yeah, now you're paying money. Not only are you losing money, but you're paying money to lose money because you have to pay an interest rate on that money. But the big warning here, before you go and say, oh man, I'm going to get a margin account and I'm going to just get something, some huge leverage. And yeah, leverage can be a very positive thing. You can grow quickly, but it can also wipe you out just like that. Because if you're running around like a moron, if you're running around saying, yeah, I watched a few YouTube videos, I read a couple library books, I'm a trader now, I know how to trade, let's get that margin account, let's get some leverage, and let's just go. Well, and I've come across this many times before, in my years of teaching. It can be a situation where stupidity with margin due to the leverage can, no, I don't want to use pink. It can wipe away, literally cause you to lose $5,000, but then, because you borrowed money, because there was a loan, your broker may still call me and say, hey, you owe me money. Sure, we realize that you lost the $5,000, but you were such an idiot. You just, they're not going to say this, but what's going on here is it was so bad that, yeah, the $5,000 is gone, but now you need to, write us a check. So they're going to say, you better get out your checkbook and write us some sort of check because you owe us money on top of what you've already lost. Now, I'm not trying to say that to scare you away and to never use margin. I use a margin account. I use leverage. Yes, my broker offers 4 to 1 leverage. But the point here is not to scare you away. The point of this is to scare you into respect, scare you into, all right, that's something that's not to be taken lightly, because this is real life stuff here. I mean, you can literally lose all your money and then still owe money on top of what you've lost. And if that scares you, good, it should scare you, but it should scare you into not wanting to rush things, showing respect to the market. And this is one of those areas where, within the market, if you don't show it respect, it can literally ruin your life. It can ruin you financially in a hurry. And that's not being dramatic. If I've done my job right here and explained it right, you know exactly what I mean by, wow, that really could ruin you or put a massive dent in your personal finances. So that's what a margin account is. You know, one last time, if you want a loan from your broker, you're going to need a margin account. Remember, it is a loan, so there's margin rates associated with it, which is essentially an interest rate. Why would you go through all this? Because the loan is going to allow you to have leverage. The leverage is going to vary from broker to broker. And, you know, with more buying power, you can definitely make more profits, but you can also screw yourself over really bad if you're not, you know, respectful of the process. So hopefully that explains it. As always, if there's other things out there as a new trader that you're not quite sure of, leave those in the comment section below. I'm always listening, or yeah, I guess I am listening, but trying to read feedback and get ideas for future videos. So one thing that may seem obvious to me may not be obvious to you as a new trader, since it's been a while since, you know, I've been quote unquote a new trader. So I'm always looking for suggestions. Thanks as always for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the channel.